and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a video on how to fuel an Ironman. Obviously there's 1,000,001 ways to fuel an Ironman. This is just kind of what works for me. I do recommend experimenting and trying loads of things, and you're probably not going to get it right on the first time, and that's absolutely fine. We've all had those bad nutrition experiences. Well, I definitely have. My race this year isn't actually until October, so I haven't even started doing my long rides and brick sessions yet to kind of practice this year's, or at least nail this year's nutrition strategy. However, I know most of you will probably be racing any time from now. I know Lanzarote Ironman was like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and then as soon as I think that race starts, then it's just races pretty much every weekend. So you're probably gearing up to yours in the next 4 to 6 weeks if you're doing an Ironman this year. So race day obviously starts the week before you want to start carb loading, but I'm not going to go into that and what I do. Breakfast for me is always something that I have before any long ride, so my body is used to it, but also something that you can get and recreate abroad when you're in a hotel or an apartment room. For me, that's usually toast with peanut butter and jam, or porridge. I can work off both, so if I'm at a place where breakfast doesn't start serving early so I can't get toast, I'll do like a cold overnight oats, which you can just buy the little pots. I did get caught out with this one in Taiwan because some places porridge isn't that easy to come by. Who knew? Taiwan is one of those places, and the kind of pre-race breakfast that the hotel gave us was like a cheese scone and a sandwich with some kind of questionable filling in it. I don't know what it was. So I ended up having cornflakes out of a mug with water, which is just absolutely not enough calories or carbs, and also not something my body is used to. So I would always recommend having a breakfast that you can practice with and that you can recreate. Porridge is a really good one because it's just good carbs, slow releasing, and toast as well. You just can't go wrong with peanut butter, toast and a bit of jam. So that is where my kind of day starts. And then usually just before my race I'll have like a banana or a gel or something. Obviously you don't take on any nutrition on in the swim, but I like to put a bar in my T1 bag so I can get straight out the swim, have some fuel ready for the bike. Again, I know people will probably comment and say they disagree with certain things, and it depends totally on like the size of you, your body mass, everything, to how many carbs and calories you take on an hour. Personally, I am not as scientific as to work out my carbs per hour or even exact calories per hour, simply because I have dropped my nutrition in races before. I've also seen my race get the swim cancelled, and then that completely throws people's nutrition plan out the window, and they get really stressed about it, which just does not help anyone. So I'm quite relaxed about my approach to nutrition, but I just aim to take on continuous fuel. So for me, it's probably around 350 calories an hour, but I'm more bothered about eating frequently, so I probably have a gel or something every 20 minutes or a bar broken up. So obviously when you're doing an Ironman, you've got to carry a lot of calories if you work that out. And obviously if you're bigger, you'll be taking on more calories than that, and carbs. Space is a real issue. You're like a packed mule, you bike with all that food. So as much as gels aren't the most pleasant thing in the world, they're a really convenient way to get calories in, and they don't take up too much space basically. So what I do is I fill a bottle on the back of my bike full of gels, so just literally empty gels out into a bottle and dilute it a little bit of water, and I take like big swigs of that. Obviously the issue there is you don't know how much you're taking on every time you do it, but like I said, for me, I'm not too stressed out about being exact because things can go wrong. You could drop that bottle, you know? So it's my personal experience and opinion towards it is to just not get so stressed and be so anal about things, because things do go wrong. So the gels that I'm using this year are from a brand called Project E. I am actually an ambassador for them now because it is taking me, this is the 5th Ironman, and it's taken me 5 years of Ironman training to find a brand that I really like, really get on with, and they basically cover all my needs. So they don't just do bars or they don't just do gels, they literally do every product that I would need, which is really convenient because it can be really annoying sourcing so much nutrition because you want to be practicing your nutrition strategy every week, and if you're buying it from millions of different places, it can be hard work. So the gels, they only actually come in 2 flavours, but I don't like to mix and match too much because it's just not nice on your stomach. An Ironman is the only time I ever lose my appetite. Like, I am always hungry and I never want to eat on a race because I just feel sick the minute I start. Gels, nobody really likes gels, but these are the nicest ones I've found that don't taste too artificial or sickly. They come in apple and cola. I really like the apple. In terms of nutrition, per serving there's 88 calories and 22 grams of carbs, which is a really good carb hit. And like I said, I just fill up a bottle with tons and tons of these, which is really easy to do. And then I also carry a few for the run in my tri pockets. I've got some tri pockets on my legs. Also for the run, it's Hydro. So these are, well, actually they do still have quite a lot of carbs in. They still have 22 grams of carbs in as well, but this is more of a hydration gel, which is really handy for the run, especially because I always seem to race in hot climates. I've done Taiwan, I've done Zurich when it was like 37 degrees, I did Vichy when it was 35 degrees. I think the only non-hot one I've done was Ironman Bolton, and I still managed to get ridiculously burnt. So yeah, the hydro gels I'm going to switch to on the run. I'll still probably have the normal energy gels as well, but just more the hydro, because I find I don't fuel the run as much. By that point I'm done, I can't really take on much more. So I'm hoping these hydros really come in handy then when it's just about staying hydrated, because I know that's where I've fallen down before. So in terms of gels, these are what I'm using this year. And my main tip would be to practice filling up a bottle on your bike in terms of storage, and also practice being able to take that off and drink from it and put it back. Might sound simple if you're really good at handling your bike. I am not. I also did that classic don't practice it, do it on the day thing, and I got that back bottle cage fitted maybe like a few days before we flew, and I'd never actually practiced it. It was okay, but it was a bit scary. But yeah, like I said, this last race that I did in Taiwan was the first race I've ever done this kind of strategy of filling a bottle with gels, and it was so much more convenient because then little bento boxes just don't fill as many gels as you need, and I ended up taping them to like my bike frame and really struggling to get them off. I nearly falling over every time I did. So yeah, both flavours are really delicious. They do the cola and apple in both the hydro and the energy, so give those a try. Going back to the space issue of carrying as much nutrition, I think people overlook the opportunity to get calories in at the beginning of the race using your drinks bottles. Obviously, I know you want to be drinking very frequently, so you're replacing your water or energy drinks at the stops, and it's what they give you rather than what you can have, but at least your first bottles can have a lot of calories in. So for me, I have a bottle on the front and a bottle in the middle cage. For the bottle on the front is where I'm going to get in about 300 calories, which is really, really convenient. So I'm thinking, yeah, 307 calories. This is the mid. There's a few different flavours of this, but I really like the orange one because it's not too sickly, and it's actually quite refreshing, which is quite nice when you get on the bike. Per serving of this, there are 76 grams of carbs. So there's a lot of carbohydrate and a lot of calories in that front bottle for me, which is just really convenient. I probably won't have got through this by the time there's the first water stop, but I'll be switching the second bottle for the ones they give me. So my second bottle, on my actual bike frame, the first leg of it, I will just have hydro. So I definitely don't need 2 servings of that. There's so many carbs in that, so many calories, too much that your body won't even be able to utilise it. So the hydro is kind of what it says on the tin, hydration, which is so important in a race. I have suffered very badly after Ironman Zurich from not hydrating enough in the heat. I was very, very poorly afterwards and I had a terrible race. So the hydro, it's only like 91 cal, so it's not really for the calories there. But it is made of, there's like coconut water powder, potassium, calcium, there's so much stuff in this, and it's actually just really delicious. So this will be on my bike frame bottle to start, and then I'll have the mid, which is the carb mix, on the front. So that's about 400 calories just in my first set of drinks anyway. So that's a really good way to get your calories in at the beginning of the race before you switch to gels. Unfortunately, I cannot do my whole bike on gels. I generally take about 6 hours to do the bike leg of an Ironman. My tummy would just be in bits if I just stuck to gels. I mean, it is in bits after every race anyway. I actually switched to gels towards the back end of the bike. Like, I do have a few during, like a few swigs of the drink that I said. The bottle of gels. But I eat solids for like 3 to 4 hours of that ride. I like a lot of bars, so I've used Cliff bars in the past, which worked really well, and I've used Velo Fort bars, which have worked really well. The problem is when I've done like a full year of Ironman training on them, I then get sick of them and I stop having them. So this year, like I said, the convenience of having everything from the same brand, I've been using the Project E bars. This is the banana bread, and they also do a chocolate one. What I like about these is they're not sweet. They're very dense, they're very earthy, so they don't make me feel sick when I'm riding. They are dense, so they are quite hard to swallow when you're racing, so you do need to take on fluid with them. But they're really good in terms of like 230 calories for this bar. They're not that big, so quite a lot of calories in a small amount of space. Carbohydrates, 31 grams. So yeah, they're really good in terms of the macros there for getting nutrition in. I don't just have bars and gels, I also generally try to make up a sandwich, but this year I might try something a bit more savoury, because I have found every year I do feel sick with the amount of sweetness. So I'll probably have like one sandwich halved, I don't know what's going to be in it yet, a couple of bars, and then gels. So that's the kind of rough plan for me for the bike. I do try and nibble and graze, so I do try to eat every 20 to 30 minutes, which is quite time consuming, and it's not time consuming, which is quite annoying. You don't feel like it, but you just need to. Like, I know some people set alarms on their watch or their bike Garmin to remind them to eat. I think it's a really good idea if there's a chance of you forgetting, because you are fueling that run, so it is really important. If this is your first one, you might not have realised that. I'm sure if you're an experienced Ironman, you know that you just need to constantly eat. It's like a big moving picnic. The run I think is a lot harder to get the fueling right. I switched to gels, so my belly is not too heavy for the run on the back of the bike. The run there, my nutrition strategy tends to go out the window here. So I will have a water bottle in my T2 bag, which I'll have some more of the hydro in just to keep me hydrated, but I'll pretty much drink at every run stop, or I have done previously. I'll keep gels in the side of my pockets, like I said, the hydro gel as well as the energy gel, but I generally just take whatever's at the food stations. So the salty crisps are always what I crave. The orange pieces, sometimes they do that, which reminds me of sports day at school. But yeah, never really take on any solids on the run, simply because my body just cannot handle it. So I have not practiced this to a T this year yet, because I've not done any of my long brick sessions. I'm having a very leisurely training year, which is nice. But if you are doing your first one, or even if it's not your first one but you haven't quite got your nutrition strategy, practice it now. Like, you might feel like it's just, I always find it really hard to go out on a brick session and ram all these gels in, so really overfuel, because you're probably not training at the same intensity, but it's just so worth it to kind of avoid any issues on race day and to kind of see what works and see what doesn't. So spend a few weeks trialing it, trialing different things, and then try and decide on one that really works and just go for it, stick to it. But also on the flip side, don't get stressed out if something goes wrong. If you drop nutrition, it's not the end of the world. Just take whatever, the bananas, the gels that they give you at the aid stations. Don't think that it's automatically going to mean you've got a bad stomach. It's not. Like, I've done so many races now where it's just not gone to plan and it's been fine. I think there's only been one, which was my first one, where I had the dreaded stomach on the run, and it really was a nightmare. But I actually don't think that was a mistake of my nutrition. I think it was a mixture of nerves, and also I had a back injury, so I hadn't been run training at all, so I think my belly was just like, what is going on? So yeah, if you are training for your first one, good luck, nail your nutrition. That's the one thing you can kind of like practice and, you know, experiment with before. And if you are doing one, let me know how you get on. First ones are always the best, so I'm very excited for you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you don't like these kind of chatty, informative videos, let me know. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really supports my very small channel that I'm trying to grow. So yeah, thank you very much. I shall see you on the next one.